And welcome to another edition of Coffee with Brendan. Today is going to be a pretty quick one. What we're going to talk about is what is the next day that the market could move pretty dramatically. And that day that you want to circle on your calendar is December 13th, 2022. And why is that? Well, as you know, the market in 2022 has been very volatile. And really, it all boils down to a few things, but the biggest thing is, what is the Fed going to do? Is it going to raise interest rates? Is it going to lower interest rates? And December 13th, 2022 is the day before the Fed is scheduled to meet and release and actually potentially increase rates another 0.5%. Now, that's what the market has currently, as of November 21st, have built into itself, is that the rate will go up another half a point to go up again at that point. But how do they make those decisions, whether or not to increase rates? Because at the end of the day, when the Fed increases rates, as I've talked to a number of clients about, when it comes to raising rates, what they're doing is they're making it more difficult for people to borrow money. So that comes in the form of a consumer buying cars, buying houses, et cetera, but also businesses. Businesses, a big chunk of what they do is they borrow. So, not often do they just pay cash to build a new factory or pay cash to upgrade their computer system. Usually they take out bonds, they borrow money, et cetera. And when interest rates keep going up like they've been going, these companies will scale back some of those improvements, and that's what slows the economy down. So the Fed is intentionally slowing the economy down to try to get inflation down. How do they make their decisions? They spend a lot of time focused on the consumer price index, the CPI, and then also the producer price index, which is the PPI. But on December 13th, the CPI, Consumer Price Index number, comes out. And that will be a huge number, because this past month, and now I'll start sharing my screen here, this past month, one second here. This past month was November 10th. And that is when the CPI report was released, and it showed that, as you can see, the forecast was 8%, and it actually came in lower at 7.7%. The market jumped on that news. And similarly, in December, there will be a forecast of what the CPI will be, and then there'll be the actual. If the forecast is here and the CPI number comes in here, the market will be thrilled, because that will be 2 months in a row where inflation is coming down, and coming down more aggressively than people forecast. On the flip side, if the inflation number goes up on December 13th, then the market will probably really have a tough day, because what the expectation will be is that November's reading was a false positive. And so therefore it may, well, I don't even want to say what it's going to end up doing, but it would probably be a very bad day, because the expectation would be the Fed still has a lot more work to do, and the Fed will continue to be very aggressive in raising rates. The more they raise rates, the more they put stress on the economy. The more they put stress on the economy, the closer and closer we get to going into a recession. So that December 13th number will be a big number. And then the subsequent day, when the Fed releases its increase, and yes, the 0.5% is built in, so that's not going to move the market all that much. It's going to be more what Chairman Powell says after he releases that number, which will move the markets even more than the day before. So it'll be very interesting. Those 2 days, usually they actually call it a Santa Claus rally. Right around Christmas, historically speaking, the market actually does pretty well. But this December 13th and December 14th dates will be some pretty interesting times to pay attention to the market. So that's all I got for you today. A little tantalizing Fed watching and date watching for the markets. I hope you have this is 2 days before Thanksgiving or 3 days before Thanksgiving. So I hope everyone had, by the time you see this, had a nice Thanksgiving and you're looking forward to the holiday season. And we'll talk next time. Thanks.